Do you know if you have the hiccups, all you have to do is say to yourself that you're not a fish and then it will stop? You're welcome. Well, yes, another fucking video, and gotta lower this. But yeah, I figured in this video, have some background music as I do this, because it'll actually will time me as to how long I fucking do this. And yeah, don't mind this. I had to I got my balls touched. But I'm listening to Nindinger, whatever. It's Tellock's other fucking project he has. The album is The High Heat Licks Against Heaven. I need a fucking drink after saying that shit. But I figured in this video I would try to plow through my collection little by little, because what I have left for a collection is pretty much essentially albums that I thoroughly enjoy. So yeah, woo. Albums I enjoy part 1 that I have still. Yeah, we're not gonna go in any fucking fancy order. You know, there's no favoritism. I mean, I'll save my favorite for last. If you know me, you can just fucking ignore what I just said, right? But yeah. When it comes to black metal, yes, we're starting off black metal. Yeah. Original, Brett. Original. But, there are some black metal bands that I have a deep appreciation for, and not just because of what they've done in the black metal genre, but just what they have to offer or have offered in the past. And K.F.R, Anthems to the Welcome at Dusk. One of the other 2 albums that they have done, which the other one is In the Night Shade of Eclipse, and if I had to say which one's better, but K.F.R, they were the first of many to dabble with synth in their music, and K.F.R is probably the one of not many that perfected that. And Anthems to the Welcome at Dusk is just such a powerful fucking album. I thoroughly enjoy it from front to back. Ishahn is a talented musician. He does various works. He also has a solo project simply titled Ishahn. To get like the in-depth of to how he came up with riffs for not just with Ishahn but for K.F.R, and how he went into such detail with everything. It was really awesome, because there's like YouTube videos of him explaining how he came up with riffs and just how he implemented everything with everything that he's done. Well, I've said everything like fucking 4 times in a row. I need a fucking thesaurus, because I say the same words over and over again. K.F.R with this album, a lot of people have the tendency of favoring either this or Nightshade Eclipse. Like, both albums are just classics and perfect. I just like this album because this album is, it tickles my fancy. It's on white. Figured I'd show you that, I guess. Whatever. K.F.R. Now there are some... You piece of shit, you fell. Now this next band has gained a lot of traction and popularity lately. And I was like, okay, this is interesting, and yeah, I enjoy the project a lot. I'm actually... almost threw up. But I'm actually seeing this band live in September. And I'm actually excited to witness the band in person, and that is... yeah, Sleep Token. I like the band. Get over it. This is not their latest album, Vor. This is an album they've done in the past. And something about Sleep Token... It's rock, it's gent, it's R&B pop, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's awesome. It's a little bit of everything. It's like a confetti cake. You get all the colors. But my favorite track off of this album, which is simply titled "This Place Will Become Your Tomb," okay, is Hypnosis. Because it's very chunky at the end. And if you want to know what variant it is, it's blue. I'm not pulling it out. Yeah. But Sleep Token has been gaining a lot of attention and traction. They're a band from the UK. Everything about them is mysterious because the person that is the frontman of the project is masked. So, hello, Ghost 2.0. We don't know who you are. But Sleep Token, I feel, should be appreciated to some extremity, depending on, you know, your taste of music. And I feel like if you do like Ghost, you'll like Sleep Token. It's just that this doesn't have Scooby-Doo Satanism stuff. But Sleep Token, I'm really glad that, you know, I found the band when I personally felt like I needed it most. But we're gonna try to keep things moving. But this next project is pretty much a project that I've been following for the past 5 years now. And I have been such a heartthrob fan of this individual and everything that he does, not just artistically but musically. And he recently did an album that is looking for a pressing or a label to press it because it's finished. And Niklas Kvarforth, I probably fucked up his last name, but from Shining, appears on one of the tracks of the album, and the album is Painter by the band K.F.R. Yeah. K.F.R. Some sleep paralysis slapped with black metal. That's the gist of K.F.R. But the album I wanted to display is Pure Evil, which is an album that he done not too long ago. And with Pure Evil, this album is more black metal in a sense. You have a lot of the same stuff that K.F.R. has been known for. And Max, he's done a lot of improv, like dark ambient music, and not just with K.F.R. but with other projects that he has, which there's a plethora of them. Over the years, he's drifted more towards black metal. And I would say if you have an appreciation for bands such as Mutilation, just Mutilation with some dark ambient, that's K.F.R. like to a T. Everything that Max does for all of his projects, for example, like the artwork, he does himself, is really talented nevertheless, because as I mentioned, Max is not only a musician, he's also an artist. And to give you an example of the nightmare fuel stuff that he does conjure aside from the cover art, here's more. Everything that Max does is unique, and with every album that he releases, as each release goes on, he sort of delves and dives further and further into the abyss that is black metal. And with each album, he successfully does it flawlessly. And no, I'm not trying to be a fucking fanboy right now. Yes. But I do have almost everything that Max has done for K.F.R., not just, you know, not with K.F.R., but almost everything that he's done on a physical format of some kind. And I do have a test press. And no, it's not of this album, though there are test presses of this album, and there's 2 left, and I kind of want it. But money. But yes, Pure Evil, K.F.R., black metal, solid shit. We're gonna keep going, because we don't want a long video now, right? We got shit to do, Brett. Another musician that I stumbled upon happened over the course of the tail end of 2021. Sorry, not 2021, 2022. And because of 2-2, we're going to show you 2 albums by this musician, because he's very talented. And I had tickets to see him at one point, and I didn't go to the show. Why? Don't know. Because I'm fucking stupid. But an individual that, again, like Sleep Token, I was like, okay, what is this individual all about? And surely enough, I got the gist. And I really dig this individual's approach to music because one thing is he's a one-man band. And no, it is not black metal. The other thing that I really noticed is that his stage setup is very interesting. For example, everything that he does for drumming is with his feet. Because he has stuff attached to his feet, whether it's, some tambourine cymbals. But he also uses like kick foot pedals to hit a snare drum and a bass drum. So he does his own drumming with his feet. And then he also utilizes an acoustic guitar of some sort. Adds like this ridiculous chunkiness to his music. It's insane. And the individual that I want to talk about is K.F.R. And here's his 2 albums. I See and Crooked Hill. This is Crooked Hill. I See. Yeah. And the awesome thing about K.F.R. is that he hails from the UK. And everything about his music, it gives me country vibes, but not country vibes. It's like country rock, if I had to like give it a genre. Because it's everything that he does is like very blues in terms of his vocals, and it's very dynamic. He can sing relatively clean. These 2 albums I did not skip out on because I really thoroughly enjoyed everything that K.F.R. has done. He's also has done some like cover work of like other like well-known songs. I just don't know them off the fucking top of my head because, again, people, I don't do this shit fucking prepped with like a list of notes on my other screen. Like, I'm not that fucking professional with this shit. Like, I've already warned you. This is what you're gonna get every fucking time. But K.F.R. with these 2 albums, I literally, it pains me to say that I did not go and see him when I had a ticket to see him. It was just the fact that I felt like I didn't want to deal with the parking aspect because where the show was located, parking was awful when I was looking it up. And then on top of that, merch and food. I just didn't have it in my fucking budget. But definitely check out K.F.R. That's how you spell his fucking name. These are the 2 albums. Now, here we go, people. You're gonna fucking heavily judge me with this, and guess what? I don't give a shit. During the fucking horrid year of the pandemic, yeah, that year sucked. My taste in music kind of went all over the fucking place. Like, that's an understatement. Very all over the place. And even though I stopped doing YouTube for X amount of years, I did announce what was my album of the year for 2022. And I don't know if it caught anybody by surprise that followed me on other social media platforms, but I'm going to show you the album anyway because we're doing this again. So might as well take the opportunity to be like, hey, this is my album of the year for 2022. The Birthday Massacre, Fascination. Don't give a shit if you're judging me. But this album is pretty. If you are a fan of like goth rock with a female singer, yeah, Fascination by Birthday Massacre. It's their latest album that they've pushed out. Came out in the middle, like fall area. Again, I'm not fucking prepped, people. Fuck off, okay? This album, though, when I first listened to it, I did not skip a song once. And usually when I've listened to older Birthday Massacre, I'll pick and choose songs to listen to because there are certain songs I enjoy. Front to back, delicious. And the very cool thing about their choice of color, it's fucking purple. As you can't fucking tell, right? With a little bit of pink. But yeah, this album, I honestly have an appreciation for goth rock in general. even though I'm pretty sure that this isn't just goth rock, but that's where I'm throwing it. If you want to correct me, go ahead. I'm not going to take the correction though, but that's where I'm putting it. I would like to see this band live, just to experience this band live, because I can only imagine how that is. Yours truly likes this shit as I wear a fucking Dragged Into Sunlight t-shirt. Okay, we're gonna keep going. 21 minutes, not bad. I'm probably gonna edit this, and it's probably gonna be even less than what it will be when I'm done. Ugh, grainy. Anyway, as previously stated, there are a lot of bands in the black metal genre. Yeah, we're going back to black metal. It's like that you can forget about Birthday Massacre. No, I didn't put that album up. I didn't hold it. There are other bands within the black metal genre that have faded away from black metal and have dabbled with other stuff as years went on, but there is one band that their roots are black metal because they do hail from Norway. There are two albums that this band has done in their earlier years that some people appreciate, and one is Nattens Madrigal, which is, as I explained in my black metal video, they are probably by far the grandfather of raw black metal and what it should sound like. And if you have not heard what that sounds like, I'll leave a link so like that you can check out Nattens Madrigal. But we're not going to talk about that album. Instead, we're going to talk about the other album that they've done, and that is Birthday, which this album is pretty much, you look at this landscape, which is the forest, woods, mountains. You listen to this album, and you're here. This is where you're at. But Ulver, I was shown Ulver back in fucking 2012. Way after I discovered what black metal was as a genre, and a friend of mine was like, hey, you should listen to fucking Ulver. And he popped in Nattens Madrigal, and I was like, holy fuck. This is what it is? And he's like, oh no, but there's another album. And he popped this in, and I was like, ooh, now this is some good stuff. The other thing that is relatively prominent with early Ulver, with Birthday and Nattens Madrigal, everything is in Norwegian. So if you're not a fan of music that is not in an English language, don't listen to this album. But if you don't give a shit and you just like the fact of like the appreciation and the delivery of the music, listen to this album. You will not be disappointed. Out of all of the works of Ulver, do I appreciate the black metal stuff that they've done over their experimental avant-garde stuff? Yes. But do I want to get some of their avant-garde stuff? Yes. Because it's also just as good, but not as good as this. That's my take. This album is beautifully constructed, if I had to give it a big word. I feel if you have an appreciation of black metal of any kind, this album should be on your list of good albums to listen to for the day, because it is a solid listen from front to back. You got very solid, clean vocals. You get the harsh black metal vocals. You get the nice instrumental, like folkish vibe. And then you got the typical black metal stuff, the tremolo picking and the fucking blast beat drumming. This album has all that. So, Birthday. We're flying. As I mentioned in the beginning of this video, with Sleep Token being Ghost 2.0, and obviously with me having a Ghost tattoo, you know I'm going to throw a fucking Ghost album on this, right? Infestus Humam. And here's a fun fucking thing about me and Ghost. So, when I first discovered Ghost and found out who and what they were and what they looked like, the band logo, I was like, oh, maybe I'll like this. I did not like it originally. I will be upfront and honest about it. I did not like Ghost when they first came out. It wasn't until years later and my taste in music changed because, I was into heavier stuff when they came out, so obviously I didn't appreciate them. But as time went on, I dabbled with other genres and other music that was lighter in a sense, and I drifted back to Ghost. And when I did, it was with this album. And yeah, I've been a Ghost fan ever since. Do I feel that Ghost has drifted away from like catchy stuff? No. Ghost has always have the capability of just creating music that you cannot stop but impulsively sing to, because there's a lot of sing-along. And it's about Satan. I have got the chance to see Ghost live, and let me tell you, seeing Ghost live is a whole other ballgame. It is something that I look forward to again this year, because I'm seeing them again this year. And I want to grab the fucking money that they fucking spit out when they play Mummy Dust, because I want to frame a dollar bill on the wall with either fucking Tobias Forge's face. Yes, Tobias Forge. If you haven't known yet. But now you do. Which you should have known by now. Ghost, I feel, is a band that I know not a lot of people appreciate, because it is fucking Scooby-Doo chase music about Satan, and I can only understand so much as to why people don't like that kind of shit, and I get it. But you cannot deny that as simplistic and as sing-along-ish as it is, it's fucking good rock music, because it's hard rock about Satan. The one thing that I find relatively funny with Ghost is there's a comical side to it. A very, very comical side to it. Like everything that they've been doing lately, if you haven't listened, watched any of that stuff, you can't help but like smirk and like chuckle a little bit. I do, and if you don't, well, fuck you, okay? Infestus and Mom, though, is a very perfect album by Ghost. I feel it's my favorite Ghost album. There are other albums that I do enjoy as well by Ghost. And it did take some time for me to grow some appreciation for Ghost. It's just, with Infestus and Mom, it's probably by far the best introduction for the band. And then you can just fucking go from there. That's my personal opinion. Infestus and Mom. Yes, I did the intro. Haha. Now, since we're all talking about Satan and how cool that is, this album has a lot of Satan in it. Like, a lot of Satan in it. Let me tell you. Dark Funeral, Secrets of the Black Arts. This album has a lot of Satan in it. A lot of it. But this album is the debut album of Dark Funeral, and this band with this album started swinging violently from the fucking gate with this album, and it's so fucking... This is like a monolith. And I feel if you like black metal, this fucking album has to be somewhere. Has to be somewhere. Like, the drumming is fucking insane. The guitar work is insane. Did I forget to mention that there's a lot of Satan in this album? And they do a lot of covers. I know they do, if memory serves me right, now looking at this, yes, they do Satanic Blood, which is a Vaughn cover. But this album, though, by Dark Funeral, it's the only Dark Funeral album I have in my collection still. Like, I had others, and when I was downsizing my collection, this was the only one that kept. I know that over the years, Dark Funeral has gone through lineup changes, and it is what it is. It happens not just in black metal, it just happens in general with music. People come and go, and that's whatever. But this fucking album, I feel, if you want a good introduction to black metal in terms of, like, you know, bands that you should drift towards and what album you should drift towards, Dark Funeral, here you go. Because it has a lot of Satan in it. Shut up, phone. Now, if you know me, and if you have known me in the past with YouTube, you honestly know who my favorite band is. And I'm not going to sit here and bore you all to death as to why, because that's just... I'm not going to do that at all. But I will mention what my favorite album is by that band. If you're new to this, well, here's my favorite band and my favorite album of all time. Yeah, I'm a normie. But there's a lot of reasons why. And no, it's not about just the history of when this album was made. You know, and all the stuff. There's like in-depth reason as to why I like this fucking album a lot. Yeah, main reason why I thoroughly enjoyed the Mysterious Dom Satanas by Mayhem is the fact that Snorre, which is the guy that's behind Thorns, him and Euronymous were buddies. Snorre had a very, very deep appreciation for classical music. And if you listen to this album, you can get the gist of how much influence that this album has from classical music. I mean, like, if you listen to the title track, The Mysterious and Southness, you can get the fucking idea with the scaling and chords that are fucking implemented. Because, you know, minor chords are really, really prominent in this album. Really, really prominent. With the exception of Life Eternal, which is the same riff repeated over and over and over and over and over and over again. But it's still good, though. And if you do know me, you know for a fact that I have an original pressing of this album. I'm assuming you don't believe me. Fine, let me get it from the fucking wall. I have it framed. There we go. The glare. You see me, and me, and me, and me. But here's an original pressing from 1994. And to give you an idea as to how you can tell the difference, well, the Cathedral is like a magenta color. Yeah, Bostonian accent. We don't pronounce our ERs. Color. Then the other detail as to decipher as if this is an original or not, on the binding on it of this album, De Mysterious is spelt wrong. I guess I gotta fucking pull it out so like that you understand what the fuck I'm talking about, right? Because, you know, you're not gonna understand like, oh, are you sure that it's been spelt wrong? Yes, it is. We're gonna be blind. So if you look at the binding, it's De Miseries. There's a T missing. De Miseries. And the other thing that you can tell that this is an original pressing is the back. That and the gatefold when you open it. It looks like that. Yeah. And then obviously the record itself, we're going to be delicate and fragile with this. It has 2 and 1 on it. But yeah. We don't play this at all, folks. I don't play this variant at all. It sits in its sleeve, in its frame. All the time. But yes, De Mysterious on Southness. Here's the original in its frame. Here's a repress that I play more than this because I don't play this variant at all because I want to keep it as pristine as I can, seeing as it's my favorite album by my favorite band and it's an original pressing. So yeah, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure it stays nice. And yeah, sorry to flex on you all like that, but I fucking had to because, you know, I have to be firm with my 2 feet about who and what I am. And what I once was, and that was a vinyl scumbag collector, and now you get to see as to what extremity of what it entailed to as to how far I would go. That is pretty much it for this video. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, which by now you should have because I've had videos cook on this fucking channel for quite some time. I'm not a fish. See? I was right. With other videos in the future, I do intend to be more informational with this as the best I can because, you know, again, I don't plan and prep for this shit. I just fucking hit record and boom, we go live. Other than that, though, I hope you thoroughly enjoyed this video. And, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing the other one. Or another one. Whatever. Bye.